ALLBALL TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah, y'all. There's no need for any introductions. We ain't playing around. Let's get right to it.
Suckers.
He, as Flea would say, and you know. The drops is there. We need like an ALLBALL reaction drop too. We gotta think of one. Maybe think of two. Huh? And speaking of drops, ALLBALL. How you feeling, first of all? How dare I not even ask you?
I'm all right. Just a little. I'm sorry. I'm all right though. A little long day, but I'm still a little stressed from the Knicks losing, but I'll be all right.
Jesus Christ. Yo, do me a favor, jump out, jump back in. It's doing the same thing as yesterday. We got some people in the building. Yeah. What's going on, y'all? Laheim. The Laheim. I'm not sure that's how you say your name. Turbo, what's going on? Nostalgic Nick. Thanks for all the love. Tell a friend. ALLBALL memberships. We in the building. We got a Patreon too, but it's like we don't know. At this point, y'all are just paying for the support. You know what I'm saying? So we like to run with that. And eventually in the future, when we get way more independent, we'll be able to put up the stuff that we want to put up, give real exclusive content. I think Flea needs his own exclusive content because he might get us kicked off YouTube, man. Please support before we get kicked off YouTube. But we got some stuff lined up. You see the thumbnail. Chauncey Billups got a ring today. He got a bond. We'll get into the Pablo Torre thing. He decided he's like gonna be nice with Brunson now, I guess. Looking good, ALLBALL. But before all that, let's get to this. Draymond Green is having a hell of a week. He's building op after op after op. What in the land is going on with this man? Let's get right into that, ALLBALL. Paul Pierce, P², legendary clutch player, is following up with Kenyon Martin's words. They played in the same era, basically. Let's see what Paul Pierce got to say now about Draymond.
On the court, all right, listen to this.
Always in the right spot.
I think Draymond is the greatest defender of this new era of the type of basketball.
Sure.
Because of the switching, because he can go all five positions. I don't think you can put Draymond defensively in any other era to where he'll be an all-defensive player. But when he has to switch on the Shaq, Alonzo, the Kimbe, KG. Well, that switch, you're gonna have to do a show. That's why people show. That's why people trap. Now, when you can switch on non-post presence players now, it's easier to defend. But when you have to switch on the dude, we're gonna go to this every time down on this switch. Every time down, we're going to the Dream Shaq on this switch with him.
So you say that
like, come on,
Draymond Green would have trouble guarding Hall of Fame.
Said to say Draymond Green would have problems guarding Hall of Famers. I don't even want to hear where I think that's Woes, whatever his name was. He was with the Ringer before. I respect you with your little kick update and all that, but bro, ain't talking about Hall of Famers. We talking about the big dogs, ALLBALL, that Draymond got a guard in the other era. The era, you know, where they say there was no skills at? That era, ALLBALL. You heard P². He talks a lot. He put a lot of money on the table. He owe a lot of money too, by the way. That's neither here nor there because I do too. But ALLBALL, what's your reaction to this guy? Again, piling on to the Draymond. Hey, you ain't ish.
I mean, let me know what he said wrong. You need to take it a step further. Draymond Green wouldn't even get on the court back in the days. I don't see, I don't know what people want to hear. We in the world of just fabricating and lies and but Paul Pierce played in an era where you had to be a bad mother, you know what? And he said everything correct. These are things that people are afraid to say. This is why guys like him and Kevin Garnett and certain platforms is never going to be where it's supposed to be at because they don't want to hear those type of things. They want to hear the lies and all the games. And bro, Draymond Green is not a great defender. I'm sorry. Can he defend in spots? Yes. Can he at times get a deflection or a stop? Yeah, but a lot of guys can do that. I'm for me. Draymond Green, is he an NBA player? Yes. I'm not going to go that far and say he isn't. But when we talk about great defenders, when we talk about legends and Hall of Famers and just just legendary, oh, he's never going to get brought up. I'm sorry. What he does for Golden State is cool, but I always said this. Out of those 4 championships, the first one, to me, that was a collective. Draymond Green ain't get defensive player or Andre Iguodala got Finals MVP and averaged 14 or some shit. Come on, man. Then the other 2 championships, what happened? Kevin Durant game. Then the fourth one, now granted, he played a part with Punk in Boston, but Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole does not get enough credit for that 4th championship in Golden State. So for me, I think Paul Pierce is just being honest because you got to remember a guy like Paul Pierce who's very underrated at his position. So when they talk about the greatest small forwards of all time, right? His name never gets mentioned. But you know what he always hears when they talk about great power forwards and great defenders? He is Draymond Green's name, and he's sitting there going, "Hold up, fuck is his name being mentioned?" And I went against Kobe. Like to me, that's what it's about. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I agree with everything he said. Draymond Green doesn't stop nobody. He doesn't. You telling me in that era, Draymond Green was going to be able to guard Shaq and Tim Duncan and KG and like, come on, let's be real. Let's be real. No, no. So for me, you know, I, would Draymond Green have been able to play in that era? No, no. How? How? He's limited offensively. Limited. He misses layups. He can't shoot. What is he gonna do? And then he ain't bringing the ball up in that era. Niggas is guarding you 94 feet. Think about that. Ain't nobody letting him bring the ball up. Niggas like Mookie Blaylock and all them niggas is on his neck. Pause. You crazy? Let me get that. He ain't got no handle. So I just think, a guy like Paul Pierce, listen, man, that's why they call him the truth. It's going to sound like hate, but y'all got to remember there is a little hate there between him and Draymond. Remember what Draymond told him? Nigga, you ain't Kobe. You ain't going to get the fairway tour and all that. So you got to remember, anytime Paul Pierce get hit below the belt, he's going to do that. And I think Kenyon Martin putting out that list, I think what him and Kenyon Martin going through is super corny, but that's on them. But when Kenyon Martin put out that list, like I said, you got a guy like Paul Pierce going, yo, listen, why did this guy get so much praise? What did he actually do? When it's all said and done, Draymond Green is going to average a triple single. He's going to average single digits in all categories.
For his career.
So when Ja Morant disrespects Klay Thompson, that disrespect should be towards Draymond Green as well. Because what the fuck are you doing right now? Klay Thompson was on that team when they won that last championship. Listen, Paul Pierce is 100% correct. I don't see Draymond Green being able to play in that era, especially starting and being a defensive player of the year, bro. 6'6", who you guarding? Who you guarding? So for me, what he's able to get away with in this era, with just the blatant flagrant fouls, the offensive picks that are fouls every time. Those are illegal screens every time he screens for Steph Curry. The way he talks, it just is. What Draymond Green gets away with in the NBA in this era is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. But I 100% agree with Paul Pierce. Draymond Green wouldn't be able to play in that era. Because like I said, look at a person like Bruce Brown, right? You know what Bruce Brown could do? He gonna knock down that corner three. What is Draymond Green gonna do in that era? Who is he gonna guard? Come on, bro. It's we gotta start talking basketball and being honest. That's why I say Draymond Green. I thought I would never say this, but I'm mad he got 4 championships. I'm very, and I'm gonna let you cook. I'm very upset that he has 4 championships because it gives him the right to talk shit. But let's all be realistic. Is Draymond Green more impactful than Derek Fisher?
Yes.
I 100% disagree.
I don't think Derek.
You don't have to answer that. I mean, I'm not. We ain't got to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just saying.
It's not a rabbit hole. It's the fact that you comparing Derek Fisher to what he did in his era to Draymond and what he did in his era, and
right,
but those guys in that era, who's gonna come up with Draymond? You can't, like, the fact that he is really one of the faces of Golden State. This team went not just Golden State 4 chips, the most valuable franchise in the league. All these things that
has nothing to do with him.
That has everything. Of course it does. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, KD are soft as hell. Nobody wanted smoke with Draymond Green for whatever reason. I don't care.
They are valuable because of Steph Curry, Fabian.
Yes, they are. But Steph Curry, for some reason, is latching on to Draymond. That's it. So for me, I understand what Paul Pierce is saying because there were too many Draymonds back then. He was actually shooting well from 3 early on in his career, but you had a shoulder injury. All that load management stuff, you ain't gonna do it back then. And like you said, a lot of points you made were great. You're not bringing the ball up with Mookie Blaylock and Kevin Johnson. They ripping you. So in the half court, you will have to adjust. He's gonna be more of a point guard in the half court, or be more of a playmaker in the half court, which I think he could do. And if Bruce Bowen could be a dirty mother lover in that era,
I said Bruce Brown, right?
Oh, I thought you meant Bruce Brown because he hit the corner three.
No, I meant excuse me. I meant Bruce Bowen for the San Antonio Spurs. Excuse me.
Right, but even then, even a name like Bruce Bowen, that's who he's competing with. Because Ron Artest can score back then. You're not in Ron Artest's class. He's a two-way player. He's not a high leverage offensive player, but you're not doing what Ron Artest did on both ends to get that name. So back then, Anthony Mason, a lot of tough guys. Maybe you could be in Rick Mahorn's class or something like that. Maybe. But even then, Rick Mahorn was big, bro, strong.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Too little, bro.
And he you guys are the same height, but in this era, I think that's where he's gonna have to deal with that hate, because it is hate. You got 4 rings, but all it does is prove what I've always been saying. Some of these rings, you guys keep giving people rings for what? Giving them props for what? Because they want a ring, okay, but you still needed a team. He's the biggest proof of that, and Steph Curry is too. He's not winning without Draymond. That's the part that I disagree with. Like, you're going too far. Now we're going too far. You can, but there's too many times where he literally punked the Boston Celtics. He went into the Boston Garden, or whatever that shit is called, whatever it's called now, and they punked him. The crowd punked him at first. He came back the next game, pulled down on Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown even admitted a year later, like, yo, we ready now. What you did to us last year, I acknowledge it, but we ready for that. And he's been doing that his whole career. Now, has he cost them rings? I agree with that. But his legacy, from what you're saying, a lot of these guys, I don't know if Paul Pierce is going to be mentioned before Draymond Green in the legacy of the NBA history. Bro, he's a part of 4 rings. Bruce Bowen, Ron Artest, these guys might not be mentioned before Draymond. This guy's going to be in the media. Bro, I'm just talking about whether you saying who's a better player or not. That's a different discussion. When you talk about this game, defense, he got a defensive player of the year, they're going to have to mention him. And whether you like it or not. And also, I'll leave you with this point too, because you made a great point. Because I'm thinking, as you're talking, why wouldn't he be dope with that Atlanta Hawks, Mookie Blaylock, Mutombo lineup? Stacey Augmon. That would have been a super defensive team. But the problem is, again, you might be just a Bruce Bowen. All them antics you pulling, you ain't gonna be no Rodman. Rodman was wearing wedding dresses out here to get to get the worm and the Nike signature shoe and all that. Draymond's not getting that unless he's really just gonna be a charismatic dude. And you ain't no Barkley. You ain't no, like, there's real superstars back then. See, back then, even in rap, somebody made this ill point one time. I forgot who said it. I wanted to give them credit. The rappers back then, think about all the rappers, DMX, Big Pun, all these guys, Cam, made this the late 90s rappers. It was almost like the gatekeepers were doing their job. These are the superstars. You put a mic in front of them, they're just, their personalities are so crazy. Even Draymond's personality to me is ugly. I don't really want to hear him talk. So I don't see how Paul Pierce is wrong in this, especially since he played back then. He experienced it, and how you put it was amazing. Hold on a second. So I got a Hall of Fame career. I got my Hall of Fame jacket, and you think this guy's gonna be running his mouth? Now they see a wounded animal in Draymond, and on the way out the door, Paul Pierce, Kenya Martin, all these guys from that school are doing what old school dudes do. Yo, dog, in my era, you ain't nobody. You ain't nobody.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Garnett was the first to say it, and everybody jumped on him, pause, but they didn't understand what he was saying. And back then, in the era that Paul Pierce is talking about, like you had to have a skill. Like for me, great. Like I respect that he's in the NBA and he does have 4 championships. You can't take certain things away from him. But when we talk about the game of basketball in certain eras, a lot of dudes wasn't going to be able to play. That's just what it is. Like I said, you little, you ain't strong. Offensively, you're very handicapped. You're a good passer. But
Even
at the end
even
of the
what
day,
even what you said, one of his strongest skill sets with Golden State is setting screens. Imagine him trying to set a screen on.
come
Remember, these
on,
ain't no
bro.
little point guards.
Right.
His screen. That's one of your skills of this era. The reason why that you are that high leverage in this era is because there is no more screen setters. They would have pummeled you back then. They would have set screens on you all day long. That part, I'm totally with you on. And Paul Pierce, bro. Back in the day, you might have been bummage.
and and and
Bummage.
and, that's for a lot of these guys. Like I remember, man, Paul Pierce era. People really need to YouTube and Google Paul Pierce. Like he was tough, man. And just think about the guys that he had to go up against, the battles he had to go up against. Like you had to earn it for real. Like you ain't got to earn nothing today. Like we really talk about Draymond as a great defender, and I don't understand why. Like when we talk about some of the greatest defenders ever, bro, his name should never be brought up with the Ben Wallace and the Dennis Rodmans and the Scotty. Nah, bro, he ain't that.
Yeah, nah,
It's
yeah,
it's not
nah,
even
that's
close.
not
No,
it.
but when you have these conversations with some people, they will argue you down, and
No.
he will probably argue you down. And my thing is, just be honest, bro. You taking advantage of this era. That's all. This era is super cupcake.
Well,
Super cupcake.
one thing I disagree with you on, and we don't have to go back and forth about it. I like that the players are talking like this because for a long time, you guys were complaining about the media members calling players names and everything, and now they're doing it. So I don't mind them just in real time going, oh, so this is the game. This is how we talk. You just were upset with the media members doing it because you feel like Skip Bayless, Nick Wright. You ain't got no sweat equity in talking like this. We really play ball, and it's way more fun to hear Paul Pierce potentially go back and forth with Draymond right now. Because I dare Draymond to come out and say something about him like he did Kenya Martin. Paul Pierce is a big time trash talker, and he was busting everybody's ass. Your favorite player in crunch time, big moments, he lived for it. His best friend, a lot of people say that's Draymond, Zaddy, LeBron. Paul Pierce was smoking him. So I would love nothing but for Draymond to respond so that Paul Pierce can be like, yo, are you crazy? You know what my
But
nickname is, bro? What's your nickname? I got like this is a different level, so I want to see more of this. I want to, all ball.
yeah, but this is sports. This is what sports is. And for me, that's what the game is missing. Just that talking shit. We all played ball before, whether it was, outside in the playground or in school, at a high level or at a low level or no level. But still, that's what the game comes from. And that's the part that everybody tends to forget. All Paul Pierce is saying is, nigga, you ain't shit. I'm nice. That's what this shit is about. And now Draymond, prove him wrong. I want to hear you break down, like when they asked that question, I think it was him and Shaq, and Draymond had with a straight face said, "We will beat y'all." And Shaq is going, "Well, who's going to guard me?" And you gonna make a straight face, like, come on, bro. So that's my problem with a lot of the players today. It's like, yo, man, like seriously, how are you going to defend that? Just be honest. So I love what Paul Pierce did, and I 100% agree with him. It's not my hate for Draymond. It's just, being my age and watching the game. Yo, bro, you couldn't have played in that era. I'm sorry. Like people could say what they want. You can bring up the four rings, all that dumb shit. All right, cool. That's why I say if we're gonna glaze Draymond, then you have to glaze Robert Ory. You have to glaze Derek Fisher. Like these guys, like Derek Fisher was clutch, bro. People could laugh at him and joke and all that shit with him and homie on the basketball court. When they asked late great Kobe Bean Bryant, with you, nigga said Derek Fisher, bro. He was
Congrats.
tough, he was hard nosed, and he knew how to play the game, and he was clutch. So that's my problem with when we talk sports. We glaze Draymond, but it's guys that were just as important. The only thing he got above Robert Ory is a defensive player of the year. But tell me how much better Draymond Green is than Robert Ory.
I think skill wise, Robert Ory was better. He was like a poor man Scotty when he was younger, but in terms of impact on just their team, I don't think that's close. Like Draymond
I,
is
nah,
82 game, bro. He's a starter. He starts for them. Robert Ory was not a starter
Fabian,
on every single team. He
Fabian,
w-
but he
he was a
but he
hired
didn't.
gun.
Right, but listen what I'm saying, bro. Whether you started or not, who cares about that? I'm saying guys were actually going, yo, go get Robert Ory, bro. Organizations and teams were going, go get Big Shot Bob for that 1 year. Come on, we can't ignore that.
We can't. But then what was so Steve Kerr was better than Draymond. Everybody like all these role players are better than Draymond. Draymond's not just a role player, bro. He's a two. He impacted the game two ways. He just did like all on offense. He's really running the show because they had to push Steph Curry to the two guard. We can't say that about Robert Ory. Robert Ory ain't pushed nobody to no other position. This guy's running the point guard for his squad. I get what y'all saying, but if you throw him into the old era, then no, this ain't even a conversation. That's not a conversation. But
But
what
that,
you're saying is you're taking away his accolades for now, and you can't do it because nobody did what he did. You couldn't
yeah,
just put anybody in there and it promised to win. You
I,
just can't.
so that's where we're gonna always disagree. Um, Draymond Green gets away with playing that position because there's no defense. If somebody picked Draymond Green up 94 feet, you think he'd be able to run the point, bro? Like,
No.
let's be like so that's my point. And my thing is, those championships, did he play a part? Yes. But let's be for real. They was going to win them championships. If you take Draymond Green out and put someone else, how that team was constructed, that offense they ran, and how they was coached, bro, they had Kevin Durant in his prime, and Kevin Durant was playing hella defense and was probably the most offensive firepower in the league for those couple years. So for me, I can't agree with they wouldn't have won if Draymond wasn't there. If you put somebody else in that slot, I'm sorry, they still winning.
I don't know if they get past Portland. I don't know if they get past Houston. I don't know if they get past San Antonio or Kawhi got hurt. I don't know if they beat Cleveland some of those years. I don't know because Draymond really did mean that much. And before he tore his shoulder up, he was shooting way better. Like I know it sounds crazy, and because he's so blatant at being, just rambunctious, it doesn't seem like we should be thinking this. But I'm not taking away what he did in this era. I'm not taking away someone who's exposing everything about this era. Y'all need me because you want to go viral. He's only in the league because for reasons that have nothing to do with basketball, in my opinion. So everything I'm saying right now, it sounds like I'm agreeing with you, but I don't want to take away what he's done either. As much as we don't like him, I can't front on him.
Well,
He
let me
killed
say
the
this.
game.
I disagree, and let me just say this. I'm gonna end mine with this. If he was that great, if they couldn't win without him, why did he run with everybody else to go get Kevin Durant? Why was it reports that they all agreed we was not going to beat them guys? But Draymond Green is that great of a defender, and they would have won no matter. So for me, that's where everybody lose me at. Meet up. Remember, you part of being down, being up 3-1 and lost. You part of that, bro. Curry got hurt. I mean, excuse me, Clay got hurt. KD got hurt. Y'all played Toronto. Where was you at? I'm just saying, like I said, we can't take away the 4 chips, but come on, man, there was some hiccups, and he's never going to get the blame for that. Why? Because he don't deserve it. Because he ain't that guy.
Right.
He ain't that guy. So I just think what Paul Pierce said is 100% correct, and I think it's coming from, of course, he doesn't like Draymond, and that's fine, and Draymond probably don't like him. But the truth is, I'm sitting over here, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it, but my name is never brought up. But when they talk about your position, nigga, they talk about you, and it's like, nah, bro. So I love what he said, but I got to give a big shout out to Kevin Garnett, who opened up them can of worms. He was the first for me to really be like, yo, a lot of these dudes couldn't play in our era. He didn't name no names, but when he said that, he was talking about guys that's superstars today. So if some of these superstars couldn't play in that era, how the fuck is Draymond Green gonna play in that era? Come on, man. Let's be for real. And KG and these guys, dogs. KG came out of high school, played at the highest level, and he played against everybody. You heard the stories he had against Mike. So he played against Mike, Shaq, Kobe, everybody.
You know what's funny when Kenya Martin talks about it, he's like Antonio Davis, Dale David. They would have been like any of these games that Draymond would have tried, and Dale Davis,
out, bro. You kidding me?
Would have crushed him like a paper ball.
Come on, bro. Like and that's something that everybody is scared to talk about because everybody wants to be friends with people. And nobody wants to be honest and talk basketball. Is he an NBA player? Yes. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But you're not telling me in that era Paul Pierce is talking about Draymond Green is a factor. Draymond Green might not be able to get on the court, bro. He definitely ain't a starter. He definitely not a starter. Imagine him trying to go Rasheed Wallace. Think about the power forwards. Like Paul Pierce said, before we run, we got a lot of great basketball minds. Big shout out to the chat. Hit that like button, share, like, subscribe. Think about the power forwards that Draymond Green would have had to guard night in and night out. Come on, bro. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
And even with Sean Marion's a good name, Turbo. Imagine Draymond trying to bring the ball up, and Sean Marion pulls up on you. Tayshaun Prince pulls up on you.
Oh, bro, let me get that. You kidding me? You kidding me?
Yo, they were even Kenya Martin.
Right,
they would have been
saying.
They would look at the camera like, oh my God, food. God.
Come on, bro. So that's something that, come on, man. We like I said, we love the game. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, come on, so he wouldn't have had a shot. And I get where Paul Pierce is going. Sometimes, man, when you legendary, you watching all this nonsense, you want to get in on it. And you tired of it. Like, I'm being honest, bro. I can imagine how some niggas feel when Draymond Green talk. Seriously.
It's like,
I mean, niggas probably gonna go, my nigga, you ain't shit, bro. Get the fuck up out of here. Seriously. Well, what's my guy from Memphis? I always forget his name. He played with us with the Knicks for a bit.
Zach Randolph.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. That niggas like Zach Randolph is probably in their mind going, man, these niggas ain't shit. Come on, man. So that's the part that, I don't want Draymond Green to say nothing back because it's almost like having an argument with somebody and they got more money than you. You know what they're gonna go to? I got more money than you. What Draymond Green gonna say is I got 4 rings. Nobody want to hear that shit, bro. That ain't basketball talk. That ain't that's not the concrete talk.
But that's why that's what I want him to answer back, Paul. Because Kenya Martin, you could kind of duck it now. Like it's not worth it. And this start in the third, yeah, okay. Now we're talking to a champion. Now we're talking to somebody that's a factor in a championship. Win that Kobe, win that LeBron. Say something to Paul Pierce. Remember, like you said, this is unsettled smoke from that comment he made about to Paul Pierce. You ain't getting no farewell tour. This is unsettled smoke. Paul Pierce is licking his chops like this. Yo, Dre, say I dare you.
And
I
and
double
and
dog
I,
dare you.
I think a lot of players is just they fed up with Draymond, bro. I don't
Right.
even think it's coming from a place of hate. I think Kenya Martin, like, I remember niggas kids playing the league. So you got a nigga like Kenya Martin go, I wish you would do that to my son, nigga. I think Paul's deep in this shit. Like, come on, man. Some of these dudes watch the game and they just be like, yo, bro, you a little too full of yourself, my nigga. You ain't like that. Yeah, we know you got the 4 chips, but just imagine if Kenyon Martin played with Curry and Clay at that time. You telling me they ain't winning no championships? You telling me they're not getting 2 out of 6? Okay, let's say they don't get 4. But you telling me they not getting none? I don't think. Listen, I don't know if none of these guys is great defenders. Because we know what a great. I told y'all, for me, Ron Artest is one of the most underrated defenders ever. But when you got guys like him and Ben Wallace and Dennis Rodman and Gary Payton, like you said, these niggas got nicknamed the glove, bro. Like, come
What is
on.
that? What is his
When you got guys
nickname?
like Scottie Pippen, who some people say he might be the greatest defender we've ever seen. He's legit guard every position. Come
What
on,
is
bro. The niggas ain't getting brought up in those conversations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So big shout out, to Paul Pierce for, always keeping it real, man, and telling the truth. No pun intended. Big shout out to the truth. Fuck you, though. You're a Boston Celtic. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but I love you anyway, nigga.
and just in case we you
What
think we're
what is
joking?
Draymond average? What is Draymond averaging this? What is his career average?
Wait, he does have a nickname. Day Day, the Dancing Bear, Dre.
We should oh, I see. Yo,
Nah,
what's his average? Go down to his average. Yeah, that nigga, that picture is terrible.
yo, remember yesterday we said, yo, what they call Carl when he's a baby? That's the nickname they called you when you were 2 years old, Draymond. Get the fuck. That was your defensive player of the year nickname? Day Day, the Dancing Bear, Dre. They call you that. Come on, yo, his career
What is
average?
he? Yeah, come on, bro.
Like, come on,
No, I just seen it.
why we want to depress the 8.7
No. Mike, come on, bro. That's what I'm saying. Come on, get the fuck
Mister
out of here, man.
Mister Triple Single.
Come on, bro. Kidding
Whoo!
me? I mean, like,
Like,
like how long are we gonna let him get away with 6, 6, and 3? Like, seriously. Like, this has been forever. Like, come on, bro. Stop it.
yo, Q Burrow, Carlos Boozer's little son will dunk Draymond through that. Carlos Boozer's son looked like I don't know
He a
where
man,
he was
yeah,
made at.
he a man child. Yeah, that's a fact.
Dog, what the hell is that? Oh, ball?
Yeah. Big shout out to him, his brother, and Kanye Anthony. They just signed to the Jordan brand. Yeah,
Ooh.
the Boozer brothers and Kanye and Anthony, and it's a young lady. I forgot the young lady name, but big shout out to them. They just signed to Jordan brand. Yep.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. Moving right along. You mentioned them. I don't say heartbreaking news, but this one kind of hurt, man. NBA scandals, updates, NBA gambling scandal update. It is what it is, Mr. Big Shot. They, they call other guys Mr. Big Shot. And boy, oh boy, the latest on Chauncey Billups, his arraignment for, his charges in the NBA scandalous gamble scandal world. Let's see what it is. My bad.
Was in a Brooklyn federal. Portland Trail Blazers head coach and NBA Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups was in a Brooklyn federal court this morning to face arraignment. He's pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. Authorities allege he participated in mafia-backed rigged poker games. Billups is on unpaid leave from the Trailblazers. I want to bring in CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane, who's following this arraignment for us from Washington. Scott, can you walk us through what happened in court this morning and also remind us what Billups and others allegedly connected in this gambling scheme are accused of?
Well, Chauncey Billups is certainly the most famous name and the most famous face in what is really a high-level, high-octane criminal case. Dozens of people are implicated. Dozens of people are charged. So you had an arraignment this morning in which Chauncey Billups pleaded not guilty, as expected. But they're just trying to get their bearings on this enormous case with so many different stakeholders, so many different matters, and so many different hearings forthcoming. You'll recall there's two parallel cases here, one of which is the NBA case, one of which is the poker case. It's actually Chauncey Billups, the Basketball Hall of Famer, who's in the poker case. Chauncey Billups is accused of being what they call the face card, the famous face to draw players to an illegal poker game, the proceeds of which allegedly went to the mafia. Chauncey Billups has pleaded not guilty, is denying the accusations, but they say he was a knowing component of this doctored poker game in which there was all kinds of technology employed to fix the games and get the money from deep-pocketed gamblers into the pockets of the mob.
Wow. And Scott, you have some new reporting about how former Justice Department officials are sharing their goodbye messages online. What more can you tell us about that?
You can see this report right now at cbsnews.com. There is a growing and highly trafficked website in which ousted members of the Department of Justice, some of the 5,000 or so who've left the department since January in this enormous purge, have put farewell messages to their colleagues. Some of them are pleasantries of wishing well to the people they're leaving behind, but many of them are warnings about the threats to democracy. The unbinding.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's emotional. I'm
my
like,
shit
yeah.
for, man.
Yeah, I mean, we heard enough.
Chauncey Billups, that's the latest. He was arraigned, $5 million bond. I guess he could afford it, obviously. He's on unpaid leave. That's what I'm surprised about. I'm surprised maybe the coaches don't have a union, but you know, I mean, I don't know if I got your feeling on the whole scandal in general. I know Barkley was going back and forth with Kenny Smith, thinking that this has nothing to do with, gambling addiction. And then, Chauncey Billups thing isn't really that as I just don't think gambling is around without, people being addicted. That's just what it is. But aside from that, there's an outside world to the addiction that people do not talk about. And being a high roller is one of them. Being around high rollers is another thing. Being a part of Ocean's 11. This is some Ocean's 11 thing, like what they were talking about. And this is, a coach being a part of this. It's, gives credence or is more evidence to the conspiracy theorist guys, right? Like, yo, this game is rigged, man. My parlay, what's going on? Why they take him out the game? We see clips of the Golden State Warriors talking about the spread, like they're really talking about this all ball. And this is Mr. Big Shot. This is a guy. This ain't Draymond Green. I don't think any of us have ever doubted Chauncey Billups' legacy, the way he came out of Colorado University, if I'm not mistaken. No, he went to Kentucky because he played with Patino, right?
Who, Billups?
Yeah, he go to Colorado.
He went to Colorado.
Went to Colorado. I know he's from there. So for his story to, being like a journeyman at first and then to settle in and become such a pivotal guy, he always seemed like a stand-up dude. Like he almost didn't belong on TV because it felt like everybody else was fake. And he's not here for the show. He seems just very honest. And obviously, I don't think that dictates who anybody is. I think this is just a part of the world that people can't believe. And I think a lot of these people that are reporting on it, they're lying. I think a lot of people are lying. Like, you don't know somebody that you work with that is involved in something like this. You don't know. They're not gonna announce it. There's a lot to this that's unfortunate, but mostly because he's on the face of this. And of course, you got the mobsters that they really don't get that. I could find out who they are. Like I watch the videos and all that. All we see is Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier face and Damon Jones faces. Oh, boy.
I mean, this is a very sensitive topic. These is people's lives on the line. Gambling addiction is for real. You talking to a guy that been gambling his whole life. The infatuation with gambling is for real. You don't if you never done it, if you never been around it, you don't understand. Sometimes it's just the action. Like some of these guys are probably just addicted to. I'm hanging out with the fellas. We smoking cigars. We drinking. We talking shit. And it just so happened the cards is in front of me or the dice is in front of me. I always thought gambling should be illegal when it comes to sports. But see, this is like entrapment. The NBA sports today they invite gambling, right? Because it brings so much money. But now you're gonna tell me I can't gamble now. I understood the Terry Rozier thing. You can't throw games. Like like that right there is illegal. To me, what Chauncey Billups was doing, that's your own personal time. That's personal. Now, if you was rigging games and you working for the mob, then that's. But I just think gambling as a whole is just no good. It's just no good. And these sports, these leagues is going to have to figure out a way to police this much better because people commit suicide from these gambling addictions, bro. Chauncey Billups right now, just think about the embarrassment with you and your family. Like you was an NBA head coach, respected NBA player, Hall of Famer, champion, Mr. Big Shot, right? And it's like now look, because of gambling. Like people really need to understand, that this thing is for real. And the world today, they're turning us all into gamblers. I know kids that's 14, 15 that do parlays on their phone. Like it's for real. Females nowadays gambling. They are turning us into gamblers, and then you're getting in trouble for doing it. So I think this thing is I think when they go down this rabbit hole, I think a lot of people is gonna get in trouble. It's gonna take some time, but this is going to get ugly because I think everybody does it. I think everybody does it. Do I think everybody is throwing games? No. But do I think these guys are gambling? Playing in illegal poker games? Um, yes. Yes, I do. And a lot of these guys got friends that's gambling. It's just no good. It's just no good. And for me, I'm not in their shoes, so I don't want to be a hypocrite and say I don't understand how somebody would do this, but I have to be honest. Terry Rozier is getting 25, 30 million a year. What are you gambling for, bro? You already hit the lick. I'm sorry. These dudes are too spoiled. I heard and I'm gonna let you cook because I'm a little aggravated. What's your man name that played for the Giants, the wide receiver? He's now all over the place. Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham said, and he's the second person I heard say this. Somebody else I heard say this. The new thing now is if you got $100 million contract, that's no money. I'm gonna say it again. These niggas now is saying 100 million ain't no money because they say, well, after taxes and you pay this and you pay that. Now after that 100, you're left with 40, 50. 40, 50 million dollars ain't no money. Yo, man, these guys are trying to just like the world, social media, they having people go crazy, bro. This shit is insane. And if we don't get it together, this is going to get out of control. And it's going to be to the point where you ain't going to have no sport because everybody going to be doing dumb shit. You heard what Michael Porter Jr. said. That might have been the illest shit ever. So it's sad that these guys are willing to jeopardize and lose everything. And when I say everything, I mean relationships, family, money, career, jobs, just because of that addiction to gambling, which has been going on forever. God rest his soul, man. The great Pete Rose. Know what I'm saying? It goes how far back. And listen, the FBI smart. They always gonna have snitches. They gonna always have guys that's willing to tell. So you're not gonna be able to hide. You better off going to Atlantic City or Vegas and getting your private room and do your thing like that. But these guys are bugging. I don't understand it. And it's getting out of control to the point now where guys are trying to justify the idiotic things that they're doing, the choices that they're doing. I've never heard nobody in my existence, 48 years on this planet Earth, say $100 million is nothing.
We heard Spreewell say, "I gotta feed my kids." There's a lot. I think I understand what you're saying, and the fact I think a lot of people react the way you do if Odell Beckham says that. I think again that's part of this high roller lifestyle. Like, bro, this is a different life. I don't care what you at in your life. Very few people get to live like that, and that's why
But
what we always say.
hold
I'd
on,
rather
Fabian. Hold on, Fabian. I'm sorry to cut you off. So, Q Burrow brother, real quick. Everybody know Jordan gambles. Everybody know Charles Barkley gambles. You know what they not doing? They're not gambling with the mob. They not cheating nobody out their money.
they're not. But again, we were doing a live, and I had to go back to the guy Slim from North Carolina who Mike owed him money, and he had to go to court, and he was hanging out with gangsters, bro. This is Michael Jordan, and the rumor was that the mob got his pops, whatever it was, and whether it was true or not, the fact that we believe it is because he was that much of a gambler. He did get caught in the Eastern Conference Finals going to Atlantic City. And again, I'm not
Yeah.
saying this. I'm not saying this to make it out to be a bad guy. I'm just saying, bro, good people do bad things, bad people do good things, or however you want to take that. I just feel like that lifestyle is way different than 9 to 5 regular normal. You can't hide people. It just seems too addictive for Odell Beckham to say $100 million ain't nothing. What that sounds like to me is that you want to go everywhere and just swipe. It's swipe. Everything is at the touch of a button, and then when it's all gone, I can only imagine how that feels. So I try not to be judgmental in this. Of course, you want to call them stupid. I'll call myself stupid if I got caught up like that. Damn, that was dumb. But at the same time, it's easy to say that when you ain't get that high. That's a different kind of high. It just is, and I gotta
Yeah.
acknowledge it. Like, yo, damn, rolling the dice over there with Joe, was it Big Nose Brown and all these nicknames with the mob? Like, Goodfellas is real. Goodfellas is real. All we talk about, when Flea asks, yo, it's true Bobby Brown got by the yeah, bro. All the dudes that we knew, the big time dudes, were on the street. The celebrities weren't the guys. So back then, Jordan getting caught up with a dude that's on the street, to us it's kind of like, that makes sense. But looking back on it, you're gonna be like, what was Jordan doing hanging out with him, bro? These are the high rollers. That's where you're gonna hang out at. They want to hang out. Nothing changed from 100 years ago when the mobsters were hanging out in the speakeasies. Nothing has changed in the thousands of years of human history. That's why it's like, to me, hypocritical with Chauncey Billups being out here. And you said the most significant word that I didn't even think of in the last couple of weeks when all these headlines are coming out: entrapment. Entrapment was the word I've been looking for. Everything about that word feels like what this is. Bro, you set everybody up to go gamble, and when they do it, it's like, well, how much are y'all making off of this? Bro, ESPN just dropped Penn, a company that broke up with Barstools, to go get a deal with DraftKings. In real time, they had a 10-year deal with a gambling company, dropped that and went and joined DraftKings in front of our face, in front of all these gambling scandals. It's on the low, of course. They're not going to promote that. You got another deal, another $1 billion deal with a gambling company. But this is the world that really lives out the gambling lifestyle, the high roller thing that keeps it going. You ain't gonna stop no high leverage poker game and the big dogs from. It's gonna happen. But I don't like the
No.
fact that it feels like entrapment because it's been going on. You've been knew about it, but now all of a sudden you want to make it a big deal because you want all the tax money. You got rid of alcohol, you got rid of the number run, the little bolita. Now you're getting rid of weed, and now you want to make sure you get all the money off that gambling. It's just, to me, it's clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, all these sports eventually, you're gonna have to make a rule where, if you're a coach, if you're a player, if you have anything to do with the organization, you just can't gamble. Like you're just gonna have to do something like that, because at the end of the day, it is entrapment. I'm sorry. It's just we we got big brand deals, $1 billion deals with gambling companies, but then you telling me I can't gamble. What? So it's a weird situation, but the thing for me is throwing games. Throwing games. I'm being honest. Now when you see some of the games, you really look and be like, wow, this shit look too crazy. Like I said, back in Mike and them era, this is not protecting them, or no, I ain't got no dog in this fight, but it never looked like them guys threw a game. This shit today, it looks insane. unless they was able to hide it much better. But today, you you really blatantly see a guy dribble into a trap, lose the ball, and then just walk slowly while it's a fast break going on. Like, how do you look at that?
I
How do you
think
now
that's
not go? No, I'm
I
saying, how do you now just be like, nah, this, like, now you look at every play, you look at everything now, and you got a magnifying glass on, and you going. So it's I don't know, bro. It's weird, but
yo, but yo, now that you say that, I'm like, yo, but how is this not promotion for basketball? Because they said the ratings are up 30% higher, and it's the highest it's ever been in 25 years with the gambling scandal. With the gambling scandal, with more money from the gambling, bro. This is all promotion for the gambling. The gambling keeps you in tune, like you said. I had to look at my coworker's phone the other day. He was playing some random game on his phone. I'm thinking like, yo, is that the same game my son plays? I like what Andrew Schultz and him said. I think it was it. Yo, is Pokemon really gambling for the kids? Like everything is set up for us to gamble. So you like I got to be on top of my son more, and my daughter. Like you said, it's not just. It was really kind of us that were really involved in the trenches with this. And it is funny you say that because all the people that were point shaving back in the day, and even Michael Jordan being involved with gambling, even if he threw a game, it felt like he was trying to drop 50. I'm gonna get the ball. I'm gonna drop 50 on your man, right? But these are all the dudes that were nice. Terry Rozier, what the Porter brother?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, but hold on, but to Terry Rozier's defense, at one time he was a good player. Scary Terry. People, he not saying he was one of the best players in the NBA, but he got a good contract, and he was a guy that when he got on the court, people paid attention. So I'm just saying,
I'm halfway joking, but we're going from the gambler back in the day, Michael Jordan, to Terry Rozier.
right. Well, I'm gonna just say this. Terry Rozier is just the one that got caught. Who's to
Exactly.
say it ain't no big dogs out there? Because, like I say, you see some plays where, like I told you, I watched Luka dribble into a trap,
Right.
lose the ball, and act like he ain't know where it was at. And then when the ball went down for the fast break, bro, he just walked and was watching. All I'm saying is it looks weird.
Everything you're saying is so crazy because think about the Otani thing. So you didn't know, had no idea your interpreter wasn't gambling. Then you said the Luka turned the ball over. They just the Otani thing, and you can't tell me that. Oh, the LeBron thing, bro. LeBron, they're saying the kid Maverick Carter got caught up with receipts in his trunk and all that, and like, yo, I didn't bet on Laker games. Though, like, huh? Word?
Come on, bro.
It's out of control, and I just, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Listen, man, you like, and I just leave with this, like I said, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I've been gambling since 14, bro. I know what it is. Bro, that shit is an adrenaline rush like no other. If you don't know, you ain't gonna understand. Bro, I've been at a blackjack table and played at the same table with Hitman Hearns and Evander Holyfield, bro, in Vegas. Like, I've done that. Bro, I've done like that high, bro, is insane. I've been at a table with somebody betting 30,000 a hand, bro, and they up 2-3 million, and I'm on the table with them. I've been there. Yeah, I'm nowhere near betting that. I'm just saying, when you've been doing something for so long, bro, talking to somebody that don't understand, they gonna always look at you like you crazy. But it's listen, it's the action. It's the action. I'm gonna tell you this. I guarantee you, if it was fake money and fake chips, they would act the same.
right.
The bravado, everything would still be the same thing.
Yeah.
Bro, it's the action. It's just something about it that's just, but we see it's bad. People commit suicide, people lose everything. You can go on YouTube and just or Google just the amount of people that just is rough, man. But like I said, these guys are in position to where, I tell people, your job is the lick. Some of us, we come from the pride, we come from the ghetto, and you always dream of, I get me $1 million. These guys actually did it. You hit the lick. So what's the purpose of doing it when you know the consequences? That's what I'm saying. That addiction, bro, that shit is for real. So for me, I don't judge, but the NBA is dead wrong because I'm gonna say it again. Listen, you telling me y'all endorse this shit, but then y'all gonna, you know, fuck us over for doing it? It's just this shit is crazy, man.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah.
I thought this topic, damn, it fit Knicks rehab. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Just because it's all ball reaction doesn't mean we don't see you in the building. Mo Dollars.
Mo, what up? The beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant, the sexy Mo is in the building. Oh man, good evening, man. We love to see the ladies, fellas, man. Say what's up to the beautiful ladies. Good evening, good evening. Mo, what up, baby?
Now,
Yeah,
I don't know this
look,
shit.
she said, go ahead.
No.
Oh, she said, look, when you hit, you feel, look, yeah. When you hit, you feel invincible until the house takes everything you want. Yeah, man, listen. You know, that without discipline, it don't matter. Without discipline, it don't matter. But for me, it's just something that I just think when you're in a certain position, when you work a certain job, you just gotta let it go, bro. Like I said, you guys, like a guy like Chauncey, what you making between 5 to 10 million a year coaching? We're not even including whatever you made already in the NBA. You played a certain amount of years, so you're gonna get the pension, the everything. Like I said, bro, it's just sometimes you have to say to yourself, okay, I gotta look at the bigger picture. I can't do this shit. But like I said, bro, when you're addicted to something, it's hard, man. It's hard. But like I said, man, these guys, it's unexplainable, man. They gonna get jammed up. And I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people gonna get jammed up, bro, if it really get out of control.
Speaking of a lot of people getting jammed up, Pablo Torre, you sneaky mother lover. Oh boy, I'm gonna play this through. He's talking. I found out some things on his video. One thing I did hear is that he said he lives in New York. That's all I had to hear.
Look, I'm not. So I'm from New York. I'm born and raised in Manhattan, not that far from the Garden, actually. And so, like, the number one thing people on the street tell me if they recognize me is like, lay off.
So let's be clear. When he say he lives in New York, he's not from our New York. When you live near the Garden, how we live is totally different. That means he has no hood in him. He doesn't have a bit of hood. When you say I'm from New York, I live not too far from the Garden. That just goes to show you. I'm just letting y'all know he has no ounce of hood in him. None. None.
Whatsoever. Clearly.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that should be like.
It's not that far from the Garden, actually. And so, like, the number one thing people on the street tell me if they recognize me is like, lay off Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that should be like New York law.
Correct.
Like, stay away from him. He's our beautiful, large adult son, or moderately sized son.
I mean, well, and most of the experts felt like the contract was an overpay
at the time, right? So, by the way, so I will admit this: when Jalen Brunson got signed to that deal with the Knicks, I was like, "Yo, he's an incredible Honda Civic."
Oh shit! Exactly.
Stable, reliable, like just trustworthy, but not a superstar, not a luxury vehicle. So it'd be hypocritical for me to say, and all along I knew that he had a secret deal with his dad, who was an assistant coach, and the age. But like the story of the Knicks, by the way, it's an organization run by a guy named Leon Rose. He used to be an agent at CAA. And look at who Leon Rose represented. Look at Rick Brunson, the dad of Jalen Brunson, and the job that he got. And you will notice that some things in the NBA, by the way, it's funny. What can you spend on if you're a billionaire? Coaching staff salaries and front office staff salaries are uncapped. Whatever you want, and they're also not published.
Right.
So it's very funny to be. So I have like empathy for athletes, right? Like you get to look in the paper and see, yo, I am watching your tax returns right now.
Right.
That is not true of like the GM of the team. So how and why they could pay Jalen Brunson, like purely theoretically, they could pay him lots of different ways through employees, namely his dad, who's already on the payroll. It wouldn't be that complicated. But I don't know what they're paying Rick Brunson.
See, and that's my issue with Pablo. It's not that there's something happening to make you suspicious. Your eye just spots windows of opportunity for this to take place.
And then you start digging and find out, oh shit,
It's
something
fake.
is there.
Well,
But it
rich
wasn't
people-
nothing that
Right.
put it on your radar.
And my point is because it's everywhere, if you look anywhere you'll
gonna
find it.
Yeah.
So two things are true. One thing is I have been shocked at how often when I start digging, there is something. I'm like, either I'm pretty good at this or this is a very dirty world we're living in when it comes to like what people are hiding.
It's both.
Yeah.
Dirty.
I think there's a column A and column B. But the other consideration I think is, I don't know, like I'm a guy with a podcast with a small staff. And if I could investigate everything, I would, but I got to make choices about what to cover.
Yeah.
And so
Start at home for sure. And not Brooklyn.
Not Brooklyn.
He goes on to say, in the other part with the Kawhi Leonard, when he was talking about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers thing, he doesn't know if he would be reporting that in New York. It's exactly what you said before he even started talking. What DMX said? Mind your business, lady. Oh, yes, we just talked about the gambling scandal. It's been prevalent. It's been prevalent. This with Kawhi Leonard, Jalen Brunson, they paying Rick Brunson. That we all thought that. We all thought that. But the problem is that he's totally leaving out is the fact that the Mavericks had a chance to sign him for less than half of that, $50 million. Jalen got $1.25 from us at first. Then he got another deal, which he took a discount on. And the fact that you said, I have a podcast, at least you were honest at that point. I have a podcast. If I can investigate everything, get some ratings off this, because I'm competing with ball players and this, that, and the third, how else can I compete? Kudos to you, because you're doing your job. That's what he does. He comes from investigative journalism, whatever the hell it is. All right, cool. But at least he's being honest. He's hesitating on ball because you don't live in LA. You ain't got to deal with the dime droppers and the crazy people of the world of Los Angeles. You don't. Because trust you me, you dig a little deeper with this, with James Dolan and his family that's been here for decades. All ball. Pablo, I'm not saying from ALLBALL TV, but you from New York. You saw what happened to Brian Windhorst. They threw him a bucket of water, whatever it was, in the streets.
He ain't been
Pablo.
back since.
Pablo.
Listen,
Mucho cuidado en la calle de Nueva York. Is what I'm gonna say.
this is the good Samaritan that tripped somebody running from the police. Bro, he told on himself when he brought up the podcast. That's what this is all about. It's evident he don't need money. Look where he lived at. So it's evident he comes from bread. So this is all about guys trying to get their platform to a certain level, and how they're trying to do it is doing dirt like this. Bro, nobody was even thinking about that until you brought it up. You heard what he said. Niggas is running down on him. Bro, leave Brunson alone, bro. Fuck is you doing? Well, for what? For what? What are you investigating something that nobody had no knowledge of? What are you talking about? So for me, this is the scary part, right? When now you know the motive. He literally said it on the Joe Budden show. I have my podcast. I have my bro. These dudes is looking at the numbers and the contracts that people are getting, and guys want that. Little corny dude, listen, man, him without a podcast, bro, he could walk by you and wouldn't be acknowledged. Think about it. No swag. You live near Madison Square Garden. You probably don't even know how to ride the train. So it's crazy, man. But for you to try to spoil you the one good thing that New York has had in a long time, and you supposed to be from New York, come on, bro. But listen, man, it's all for likes. It's all for views. Simple and plain. If he didn't have a podcast, if he wasn't trying to push nothing, he wouldn't even be doing this. So for me, I just sometimes laugh at. I like Joe Budden's platform, but sometimes I laugh when everybody just all of a sudden tries to sound very smart and articulate, It's like, man, y'all niggas gonna get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, man, stop it. Why ain't nobody go, yo, bro? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing that for? Do it the right way. Build your platform. If you love sports, talk about sports. But no, nobody even knows this podcast exists. So you know what he got to do? Sucker shit. That's what happened. Listen, man, it's a nasty world, and people gonna do and say anything to get to where they got to go. And he's just a guy that he's probably one of those guys where it's not even about the money. He just want to be able to be spoken about, when it comes to podcasts and my name is this and I've done this. It ain't about nothing else. Guys like that, man, they belong right where they at. Right where they at. Hopefully somebody rob his ass, not literally, but meaning like hopefully with his platform, you know how you pay for somebody to help you build your numbers and hopefully they give you all bots. Get out of here, man. Think about it. When you look at him, you ain't believing nothing he says. When they talk about guys that didn't play the game, they talk about guys like him, bro. That when the dictionary, when they say if you didn't play, you shouldn't be able to talk, is guys like him. See, we may not have played Fabian, guys like me and you may not have played on a high level, but we was around it. We was around it. I was on them lines. I was at them legendary games. Listen, so guys like that, they don't love the game, bro. They don't love the game. So it's just a sucker being a sucker. That's all it is. That's what suckers do. You can't expect them to do nothing else but be a sucker. That's why if you notice, ain't nobody even paying them no mind. That shit ain't gain no traction.
Oh. I think that's where all balls wrong. That's gaining traction. Go ahead, jump in, jump back out, all ball. And so I can hear you, but I can't see you. Oh, there you go. You back. You back. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, but I can't. Yeah. The sound is like very.
Oh, so come in and come back out. I do believe Pablo Torre he's been doing this. This just happened to gain a lot of traction. He did something with Matt Ishbia from the Phoenix Suns, the owner there. They're now getting sued, or the lawsuit's getting even further. I was gonna get into that. A lot more of these billionaires are going to be put on notice. I think this is what guys like, Pablo Torre do. This is part of the other side of the coin when you watch something like The Wire, and for years you've seen, one side of the story, whether it was NYPD Blue or, whatever kind of investigative journalism. And they would show the cops as the good guys, as chasing down the bad guys. And then all of a sudden, when The Wire came out, it showed you both sides. And it showed you that even the police officers, they were looking for the fame. They were looking to be recognized like the drug dealers. So Pablo Torre, in this case, I like that point that you made, because Pablo Torre is looking to be the superstar investigative journalist, and it is addictive. You do want the recognition because you know what it means to get paid that much. You know what it means to have the cashier at ESPN, to be a Stephen A. Smith, who maybe you're doing it your way. Maybe Stephen A. Smith ain't as articulate as you are, and has the Ivy League background that you do, but you are doing very similar things in this case, because what's the difference? It's all salacious. Like, clearly he's saying it's ongoing. Every way he goes, it's nonstop. He uncovers one thing and he keeps going. It's like, you want to clean all this up. It's been a part of the game. We've seen they kicked out the other Donald Sterling because he didn't want to pay the players, so he would trade players. He wanted to circumvent. He was circumventing the salary cap to not make a certain amount, and then all of a sudden he can take in money that all the other owners were paying extra for with the luxury tax. He was able to collect, and the only reason why I know that is because Steinbrenner. I grew up hating the Yankees, But I love Steinbrenner kicking out the Minnesota Twins owner from his luxury box saying, yo, bro, we give you $20 million a year and you pocket that money. You're circumventing that, I guess the whatever you the overhead and on your team to be able to collect my money. You're supposed to spend that money. What are you doing? So with all that, I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's another part of this where I guess maybe the other owners, are they scared? Are they scared of Pablo Torre and this coming out because this is gaining traction? I said while you were offline, or ball, he did have things like this with Matt Ishby with the Phoenix Suns owner, who had his own scandal with the real estate companies and stuff, and now he's getting sued by his minority owners, his other co-owners, for spending too much money, and they stink, and they want to know why you spending all that bread. Should our other owner, billionaire owners, these are remember Steve Ballmer's 10th highest, 10th richest man in the world. So is Pablo Torre going to be, a hero to the OKCs of the world, the Indiana Pacers of the world that are small, smaller market teams, but that's leverage for them over the New York Knicks and the LA Clippers. When they talk about the big cities having leverage over them, is this part of what they're talking about? The high roller city.
I mean, you make a great point. The Donald Sterling thing, we all know why he really got fired though. So no matter how much, sucker shit he did as far as when it came to money, they was letting him continue to do that. He got fired when he got caught, with the racism thing. So it just goes to show you, listen, man, at the end of the day, this young man, I hate when people go, that's my job. No, it's not. You're not a private investigator. You ain't solving murders. It's not your job. You doing this because you want to build a platform. You want your podcast to pop off. So this is the lane you're going. Just be honest. But don't tell me this is your job. Stop it. I hate when guys say that because it's not your job. It's not. You are not certified. You have no accolades to where it says it's your job to investigate and do these things. So for me, like I said, a guy like this, listen, man, to each his own. I know you say it's gaining traction. For me, I remember when he first spoke about it. I'm on social media all day, every day, YouTube, whatever you want to call it. I heard about this again because you, my brother, brought it up. So I'm just saying, I want to see where it goes with this, but I think he's reaching. And like I said, I just think he's doing it for one reason and one reason only. You made a great point. Guys look at Stephen A. Smith and they want that slot. Not saying they want to beat Stephen A. Smith, but guys want to be plastered all over this TV. Guys want these numbers that are just out of this world, which people don't even realize all this shit is fake anyway. And I just think some of these guys, they are infatuated with that.
To be clear, not just forget the money, it's the fact that Stephen A. Smith has that much power at ESPN. How many people get to have that? And Pablo Torre now has his power over YouTube. And what you said with Donald Sterling, let's not forget the way he got caught was the lady he was messing with was recording him. Now, a lot of us, even though we heard the racism part, we also said, I don't agree with how he got caught either, though. If he stays in the league off of
that was illegal.
Yeah, off of a technicality. If he stays in the league, then be that as it may. Obviously, the players felt like I don't care how he got caught. I'm not playing with him. This is too blatant. We knew about him before, but now everybody knows we can't play with that guy. So I get it. But even that type of scenario, we're still saying, bro, this was going on for decades. You didn't do anything about it to the young lady. Really recorded it, and now the thing with Steve Ballmer has been going on for decades. You ain't do nothing about it until Pablo Torre come out of nowhere sniffing around. For his sake, there's a reason why sometimes you got to mind your business, and it's not like he's just dumb. Yeah, he grew up in whatever part of Manhattan, bro. You recognize when you go on the street and you want to be safe with your family, you're gonna have to move. You cannot be in New York pulling something like that. This is too many times you teasing the Jalen Brunson thing. And I'm not saying for us. Imagine how diehard Knicks fans we are. We're talking about the crazy lunatics in the street. We're talking about the gamblers. The real gamblers. These dudes are crazy. And we're just talking about average. Forget about the gambling. People who are just fans investing their time watching the Knicks. If they see your face in the street and you did some Kawhi Leonard business to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Oh, you know how this goes, old boy. Come on now.
Yeah, listen, man. Yeah, it's like I said, man. You know, when God go down these rabbit holes, man. Like I said, you can't. It's not going to work because it'll crumble the whole system. Because like you said, every owner is probably doing it. Let's be realistic. These players have the power. How do you think these players is able to say, "I only want to go here"? They ain't even got a. They don't have a no trade clause. Kevin Durant told Phoenix. First, he told Brooklyn, "Send me to Phoenix." Then he told Phoenix, "I'll go to Houston." He ain't got no trade clause. They got to send them to fucking Washington if they wanted to. So at the end of the day, the got Pablo, man. You just gotta, like I said, man, just be careful, brother, because the way you're trying to build your platform and build yourself up, I think it's mad corny. That's just my honest opinion. I think it's whack. I don't get into that part of the game. I purposely stay ignorant to certain things. When it comes to politics, when it comes to that type of stuff, I stay ignorant towards it because I understand that certain conversations and certain topics, some people take a little too serious, and sometimes it's a matter of life and death, and it's nowhere near that serious. I'm sorry. So, what he's doing, it's like, yo, bro, like I said, he told on himself when he said, "I got my own podcast. I got there you go. There you go. Right there. Right there. You break the story, you do your investigation, hopefully you get the numbers, you get this. Like you said, now you plastered all over the place. That's all this shit is about. Everybody trying to go on a campaign run. When you about to be president or you about to be mayor or whatever, you go on that campaign run, that should be 90 days. Best time of your life. You all over the world, people rooting for you all over the TV screens. That's all these dudes is wishing and hoping for. Nothing more, nothing less. He don't give a fuck about the game of basketball. Let's be for real.
And I mentioned, I'll leave it with this. I mentioned the average New York City 9 to 5 lunatic. Bro, you dealing with billionaires, bro. You telling me you got some leverage over some billionaires? It goes back to what you originally stated 20 minutes ago, old boy. He ain't got an ounce of street in him. Your spidey senses ain't tingling. I don't know if Joe Budden spoke to you off the air. I don't know how much further that conversation went, but that's a lot of money. They always say,
That
you ready to go to
yeah.
war?
Yeah.
You ready to go to war? You got your money up? Pablo, mucho cuidado.
Joe Budden and them dudes forgot where they come from, so they ain't had that conversation with them because they headed to the clouds too. Everybody forget where they come. Everybody forget about Franks and beans. Everybody forget about cornflakes, not frosted flakes, cornflakes. And you got to put the sugar on them. Everybody forget about that shit, bro. Everybody head is in the skies. Everybody just like this. Nah, bro. So, big shout out to him and whatever he's trying to do. But like I said, you can tell a guy like that gives two fucks about basketball. This is why I say social media at times, I can't stand it. I can't, they talk about guys like us with a platform. Look at guys like that. You trying to bring motherfuckers down. We just trying to discuss the game that we fell in love with. You trying to take a nigga to the bank. You trying to have the fans knocking on niggas' doors. Come on, man. I don't want to be around nobody like that. Simple. I'm straight on that.
The youngest in charge, what's going on? That's good investigative journalism. You know what's funny? We're not denying that. What we're saying is, don't become a movie, dog. We've seen TV series. Yo, Pablo, don't become a Netflix series out here. It is what it is. It's very close to home. You're gonna have to start doing this investigative journalism from a bat cave. That's how it goes. You ain't the first one to be doing this. Keep thinking you the numero uno. Keep thinking you reinventing the wheel. Respectfully, don't fuck with Jalen Brunson. But that's all we saying. Leave us the hell alone.
Ball suckers.
This shit crazy, man.
Baby Bubba. Come on, appreciate y'all members. This ain't a movie, dog. That's right. The youngest in charge. Cubo brother, what's going on? Q-Borough, what's going on? Yeah. We back with Knicks rehab. Be back with some more reactions this week. Hit the membership, hit the subscribe button. Like, got the Cash App in the description. Y'all know what this is
Let me
already,
say
Big
this.
Bubba.
Let me say this before we get out of here. If we lose to Brooklyn tonight, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even watching that game. I'm not even wasting my time. That's a game we shouldn't have to watch. We shouldn't have to discuss. Let me wake up and we lost to Brooklyn. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me wake up because I'm not wasting my time on that. Let me wake up and we are on the losing end of the Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks game. That's all I'm gonna say.
I just can't wait for Cam Thomas to drop 60 and get to hit the game win over Jalen Brunson so Fleet could go crazy and come through with his aluminum do-rag. See y'all in 2 hours. All-Ball TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.